Welcome back to Villa Familia, everybody. We are week 54, and do we have a ton of action rocking and rolling at this project? Well, finally, we've got insulation done. We've got masons getting started. There's not going to really be much to show you on the masonry side of things, to be honest. They're literally just getting here today. We've got all sorts of exterior finishing work happening, so let's dive in and check out what's going on. Okay, so on this project, as we do on many of our projects, we have used hardy siding, and so we have got all of that stuff going on here. Now, one thing that I hear and see a lot of people doing is when they install their siding, they're not putting a piece of flat stock metal in behind there. So we're gonna slide over to the other side of the house, and I wanna show you what you should be looking for in your siding installer, because it's a really important piece of making a hardy siding product assembly work well. Nonetheless, we've got our siding going on here. We've got our prefabricated exterior corners rocking and rolling here. I like these prefabricated outside corners because they aren't gonna crack and look like garbage in a couple of years. These suckers stand up and look good for a long time. So I'm a big fan of the pre-finished, pre-assembled, pre-made outside corners. Love to know what you think in the comments section. We've got our skirt board here. We've got our stool. You'll notice here that there's quite a bit of depth between the front face of the trim and the window. And of course that's happening because we have 4 inches of outboarded insulation on this project. So in order to make that all work, we have this flashing detail that goes on here. So we've got soffit in, soffit pots in, looking great. I really like this vinyl soffit. I'm trying to see if I can find a piece of it, because it looks like a it looks like a V groove, like typical wood soffit, but it's actually vinyl, and I think it looks clean. Like it's very, very cost effective. And it looks very close to wood. It doesn't really look vinyl per se. And it functions very well. Our sidewall shingles in the gable end there. Then we've got a bandboard detail with hardy siding below, or hardy lap siding below. Obviously the vinyl soffit up above, looking great, installed by the pros from Coastal Exteriors. Love those guys. And you'll notice that where the corner boards are joined there, that there's a bevel to it. And of course, one of the most important things we want to do is make sure that water is always directed away from the inside of the house. So by mitering the corner board like that, the water is always going to find its way down the outside of the corner board instead of finding its way to the inside of the corner board. One thing that you can look for that will really tell you whether or not you're dealing with a professional installer, and this goes for lap siding and or hardwood flooring, is looking for any sort of step pattern in the flooring or siding. And what I mean by that is having, like if this had a step pattern, Kyle, you'd have a joint here, a joint here, a joint here, a joint here, right? We wanna have, like in any product, we wanna have at least 2 boards between having a joint here and a joint here. So if you look here, I mean, this is offset, so good to go. But again, we want to make sure that we don't have any obvious step patterns, right? Like that just looks like crap, and it just kind of shows somebody who doesn't really care about their trade and their craftsmanship. So, I mean, if you look at this area over here, Kyle, we've got 2 boards between 2 butt joints there. Totally fine, no issue with that whatsoever, right? But you don't have any sort of step. So, right, like you've got 1 step here, that's okay. But if we had 1 and then another step here, Eric would freak out. So this looks great. That is a sign of a job well done. So again, like with any sort of exterior finish, right, we want to miter everything with an outward slope. So you can see here, like we've got a block for the gas meter that's obviously bigger than 1 piece of wood can be. And each one of these miters is beveled out. So any water that comes down here is always going to go to the outside of the material. Really, really important. All right, well, so the siding guys are moving too quickly, so I'm not going to be able to really show you this in progress. But I can tell you that a piece of metal like this exists behind this butt joint here. Like, I mean, we don't care that this isn't cut perfectly straight into it. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you have a piece of flashing in behind these butt joints, And that is gonna make sure that any water that might find its way between the pieces of siding make its way down to the piece of siding below, right? So always positive lap, positive lap, positive lap. Exteriors want positive lap. Force that water to the outside. Very important. Okay, so we are now in our fully insulated basement. We have got most of the soundproofing done, or sound damping done in the ceiling. There's still more to go, obviously. There's bags of it here. We've got our 2 pound, not half, 2 pound insulation up against the foundation wall here that goes right up to the bottom plate. And then they finish the rest off with bad insulation above there. We have 4 inches of outsolation or exterior mounted insulation. So again, we're in the basement suite bedroom rather. So insulation, spray foam, looking good. This is gonna be nice and toasty, roasty, and warm in here once we get the heat going. But the heat ain't going right now. And I'm telling you, if I reach out and touch you with my hands right now, you would not enjoy it because my hands are freaking freezing, Mr. Bigglesworth. It's cold. So Kyle just asked, is there any reason why there's spray foam down here and then it's bad up here? And so the answer is, this is where the concrete foundation wall is, and this is framing above. So the exterior grade on the outside of the house over here is roughly around here. So we've got our foundation wall coming up, obviously above that, maybe not so obvious, but trust me, our foundation walls always want to be above dirt. So that's foundation wall down here. And then we've got bad insulation for the framed wall above the foundation. Okay, so continuing through here, we're now in the primary dwelling unit, if you will, the basement for the main house. And so we've got everything rocking and rolling in here. We've got spray foam going on in here, insulated, looking great, nice, warm, lovely, wonderful. This is going to be a very comfortable room to be in once we get some heat in this house. Let's move up to the main floor. Okay, so here we are on the main floor. Lots of natural light coming in first thing in the morning here, which is going to continue to be here once these folks move in. So very, very nice spot to have to be for the rest of the time for this wonderful family. Folding doors, looking good. Again, insulation going in above. We've got half-pound insulation in the ceiling. I like the half-pound spray foam for the ceilings because it leaks, like it's actually porous. Water can move through it, so if there ever is a roof leak, water will find its way through half-pound insulation. If you use 2-pound insulation in your ceilings, 2-pound will not let any water come through at all. So if there's any leakage or anything like that, likely going to have a rotting situation. The ductwork and the air handler and whatnot above me right now are completely devoid of any spray foam or paint, and that is a sign of true professionals taking pride in what they're doing and making sure they're not getting their stuff all over everybody else's equipment. Our friends at H&H Installation have done an amazing job for us here, making sure that this stuff is all protected, looking good. Everything in here. I mean, these guys are seasoned professionals. We've been using them for years. I love them to death. They do a great job for us every time. If you're looking for an insulator, H&H, great trade partner to work with. You know, one of the really cool things about the insulation going in is you really start to dampen the sound coming from the outside in. So once the outsulation started going on, and now especially with the insulation on the inside of the house going on, it has become so much quieter in here than it used to be. Not that this is a very noisy area by any stretch of the imagination, but it is so much more quiet in here. It's just very peaceful. Very nice. I don't know how washed out I'm gonna be or not be on this particular shot in this particular room because there is a ton of natural light coming in here. But nonetheless, we have got our spray foam in the attic above us here, and we have got our bad insulation on the exterior walls. So everything is looking absolutely mint. We're looking really, really good in here. We should be having drywall delivery early next week, and I would suggest the next time we're shooting here, there should be some significant changes again to this home. So please stay tuned. Check us out. That's a wrap on today, everybody. Listen, if you find this content entertaining or educational, we sure would appreciate it if you'd like the video and subscribe to the channel. In the meantime, if you'd like to connect with us about renovating your home or building your dream home, we sure would love to be your partners in success. You can reach us on the phone or on the web. Either way, we'd love to hear from you. Please, please, please reach out. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you on the next one. Bye now.